Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? Hey, an unusual pitch for how to decrease teenagers vaping in New South Wales has been heard by a government inquiry. Dr. Colin Mendelsohn. He knows his stuff, Cole. But he's come out, this is an interesting one, because he's saying that at schools, if you want to wean kids off the vaping, you've got to find vaping areas that they can do it. So a designated outdoor vaping area that students that are suffering from withdrawals, because this is what they'll go through. They'll have withdrawals. It's not as easy as just
any nicotine.
Just get off the vapes. You just can't get off the vapes, Kate.
Depends how long you've been vaping for.
Yeah, but that's what you've got to commit to, the withdrawals. If you commit to the smoking, you've got to commit to the withdrawals to get out the other side.
Yeah, but you know what? If there's a vaping area at a school, as if the other kids aren't going to get stuck into those kids that are just vaping from the outside. I suppose it's not going to be like a fenced-off area.
It could be like in the airports where it's a glass box.
Room. It would be. But you have to... He said
How
you
delicious.
have to register for the area. So you have to register through the school saying, I'm trying to get off vaping. I don't want to vape anymore. So can I have a quick little suck over here during lunchtime and I can slowly wean myself off it?
Is the argument that if you have a designated area and time to do it, that like in class you won't have it in your pocket or in your hoodie and do it all day?
Sneak it up your sleeve, man.
I need to get a very good friend on the show.
Yeah.
Robert Crash Craddock. He's one of the best sports journalists this country's ever produced, and he's a good friend of mine. He joins us now. Crash, welcome to the show, buddy.
How are you, Fitzy? Whipper, Kate. Nice start to the day to join you.
Crash, thanks for coming on, buddy. It's an honour to have you on the show.
It's an interesting topic, isn't it, the vaping one? It really is.
It is. And Crash, I want to know, they're thinking about having designated vaping areas here at school, but Crash, you told me a story. You had a different thing at your high school growing up. Can you tell the guys what happened at your school?
Yeah, well, it was at Frawley College, and we were allowed to smoke back in the 80s in our last year because the teachers were sick of picking up cigarette butts out of the urinals, and they said, all right, there's no warehouse smoke there. So, Fitzy, my best mate used to arrive at school. I sat beside him. He had a packet of Benson and Hedges extra mould in his top pocket every day. You could see it in the classroom.
Yeah.
But we developed the mannerisms, too, of smokers. I was an asthmatic, what an idiot. But in the exam time I would smoke, and I always remember taking the big draw back, going, God, chemistry sucks.
Like you were Kerry Packer.
Crash, you said to me that you actually hated smoking, but because it was legal at school and everyone did it, peer pressure, you just smoked.
Oh, well, you did. And honestly, my head I remember having one before an English exam, and my head was just spinning because I was an asthmatic with small lungs. Fitzy, what was I thinking? What an idiot. But it's funny how, Kate, the more you have, the more you want. When they said you could smoke at the warehouse, a few of us said, can we smoke in class as well? And they said, are you idiots? And we thought, oh, God, you're so straighty 180 not letting us do that, so...
Crash, the combination of nicotine and Ventolin is just beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No wonder my marks were so poor. It was an interesting time, but I guess one relevant point was none of my mates that smoked at school smoked after school. Like, It was almost as if the novelty had passed through them.
Yeah.
And I thought of that when you were talking about the vaping and the vaping areas. I've heard people say, gee, I bet you that started a lot of people off on the wrong foot at school smoking. Actually, believe it or not, it went the other way.
Yeah, right. Crash, you're off the darts now, aren't you? No more smoking for Crash Craddock?
No, I haven't had one for about 40 years, but I've got to say this, though. It was that they were... back in the 80s, like where you were sitting now in a studio, there would be 3 people smoking at any given time. I sit in a newsroom at work where at any given time, with no windows, there would have been 25 people.
I know. It's hilarious.
I've
told that story too. I think back at Channel 7 in the day, the cameraman even doing the news would before they go to the news, they'd go live for the news, but they'd put their cigarette out on the camera before they went live.
Oh my God!
And the last bastion was Shane Warne, who at every cricket ground in Australia, Warney had his little smoking area where he'd sneak into a room and someone would give him a wink and a nudge and say, "In there, Warney," and away he'd go for a little secret puff.
Well done, Crash. Thanks for coming on the show. Love you, buddy.
Pleasure.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We absolutely adore this man. Tickets to Will Anderson's biggest Australian tour in 5. I'm really looking forward to this. This is a huge tour. Will Legitimate are available at comedy.com.au. He is hitting the road. He's pumped up and he's in the studio. Will Anderson!
Thank you. It's true.
What, you're pumped up?
The biggest. Well, it's very easy to say that when you haven't started.
Right.
Like, it's a good promise to be able to make it the start of the tour. I mean, it can all go pear-shaped. It might not happen, right?
Does big mean the amount of seats in the arena, or does it mean the amount of places you're going?
It can mean anything, can't
yeah,
it?
how
You
many
can just say
words?
it, can't you? I can watch that Tom Hanks movie before I go on every night. That might do. I don't know. Listen to some Biggie Smalls. I don't know what it means.
Could be a sumo
it means it's
wrestler
big. It means I'll be at my top weight. I don't know what it means, Whip.
You going out of the country, Will?
Yeah, the idea is actually, Fitz, so basically, like, because obviously there was some stuff that went on that meant it was very hard to tour, but also I have a lot of other jobs, and that just means it's really hard to put in place. And so a year will go by, and I never got to anywhere that I promised people that I was going to get to. And so what I've decided to do, this is a very sensible thing, I'm going to do a tour over 2 years instead of one new show every single year. So basically, I'm doing Australia, and then next year I'm going to take the show international.
That's big.
Are you at the Rolling Stones stage of your life now, Will, where you just, only weekends you perform between every 2 weeks and you have a bit of time off in between? Are you at that
start
stage?
having children, just randomly rolling out kids at this age of life.
Have you done many sort of country gigs where maybe people aren't as familiar with your work?
You mean different countries or just country Australia?
Country Australia.
What part of Australia you think's not familiar with my work?
Well,
I've been in my public eye for the last 25 years. You can't have missed me. The main feedback I get is there's a little too much of me, not that they don't know who I am.
Well, have you had people that go, bloody Will Anderson, wasn't he here last year? These country folk that are trying to wash the dust down the back of the throat. Don't know about that bloody Will Anderson bloke.
Mate, I am country. I don't know what you're... In fact, I'm not sure that you can even do that voice in front of me. That's classist what you did. I've come on here straight off Anderson's Road in Denison, 250 people dairy farm, into the studio to have you... to have you do that in front of me. That's, mate, that is...
Hey, Pig Farmer Anderson's
Not
back.
pigs, mate. Cows.
Dairy.
Can't milk a pig. I tried.
And utes as well, Will. That's the ute muster, isn't it?
Mate,
is that the ute?
that's Denny, mate.
Timber. I mean, like, all country areas are the same to you guys. Come into Grover in the city, and you're just like, pigs are cows, cows are pigs, sheep are goats. Tamworth's the same place as Denison. It's all, as long as it's out of the city, that's where we reckon.
Well, do you go back there for your tour?
It's so funny that you asked, Whip, because I actually don't go. So basically,
You never do.
So Denison's 250 people. So there's not a local venue that really suits the cost that it might take me to go down there, even if I stayed at Mum and Dad's. That's a lost leader. Even if you get the entire area, it's not really one that you can financially fit into the schedule. But the nearest big town is Sale. I went to school in Sale, and Sale's about 12,000 people, and they have a venue, and I used to go to Sale, and of course my shows would sell very well in Sale, and I stopped going to Sale, and the reason I stopped going to Sale is that I discovered something very unusual, which is that in anywhere else in Australia or the world, if someone doesn't like something that I do, they can hit me up. I'm available on social media, and they'll tell me that they didn't like something I did or something I said. But when I do gigs in Sale, they tell Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad suddenly were getting a lot of direct. They'd be down the news agency or whatever, and someone would just be like, your son said this, and they're like, could you please not come back here and do shows?
Don't know about that son of yours.
All right, Will Legitimate. It is. You can get tickets now at comedy.com.au. We love you to death, Will Anderson. We know how busy you are. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy. Good to see you.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I want to talk about that time that you got into a real big Barney with your parents and you decided to leave home. What a great song.
It's a great track.
Just takes you back to the night. Jebediah. Great song.
They from Perth?
Yep. Good pick-up, Kate.
Yeah. I know me
Still
music.
going. They've got a new album coming out.
Do they?
Yeah. Well, Kev, the lead singer, he's also Bob Evans. Great band.
Wow.
Love him. So, this is not leaving home, but we've all had a big fight with our parents. Did you run away from home? What did you do when you spat it with your parents? 13, 24, 10. Remember, everyone goes into the running for first class at 50k as well. But this is a guy called Andres Canto. This is in Spain. He was 14 years of age when he got into a minor argument with his parents. Do you know what it was over? It says here... Got into an altercation, sparked after his mum and dad told him that he wasn't allowed to walk into the local village wearing a tracksuit.
Oh, mate, if you love your Deodora, you know.
Mate.
Yeah. But, I mean, you take it pretty seriously when you're in your early teens like that. It's all to do with your reputation out there in the world.
You got a new triple stripe and you just want to show it off in town.
Yeah, even if it's 100 degrees, you wear your new
Sweaty.
puffer jacket and a beanie.
Yeah.
That's what I wore a Cooter Lions jumper to an underage party, Kate.
Sick as, man.
And it was 36 degrees, but I could not take that jumper off.
Because you were awesome.
Then you were sweaty underneath.
It was passion that night. Don't worry about that.
No question
Anyway,
about
infuriated by this demand, Andres stayed at home instead and vented his frustration by saying to his dad, well, you know what? Stuff this, I'm not living with you guys. I'm going to dig a hole in the back and I'm going to live in the backyard. And his dad goes, go for it, if that's what you want to do. So he grabbed a garden hoe and started whacking the ground in the back garden. 6 years later, Andres has moved into his new underground home that he has dug out in his parents' backyard.
What a stubborn little turd.
Has he been digging for 6 years?
He's now 21 years of age. Just over 6 years, 21 years of age. He's an actor, and he said to his dad, I'm going to stay here, but I'm living out in the backyard. He's actually got a mate who brought in a pneumatic drill. They spent up to 14 hours a week digging almost 10 feet into the earth into the parents' garden. Then he got a pulley system that he bought for cheap. He put together for himself because he was going, it's taking too long just using buckets.
Yeah.
Altogether, the project has cost him a grand total of $73.
Not single, are you, mate?
He's now thinking about expanding it further, Kate. He's going to put another 2 rooms in there, a heating system. He's going to put Wi-Fi in there and a music system.
Okay.
This is the best.
I mean, if you're out and about and you meet a guy who says, do you want to come home and see my bunker? I mean, you're not waiting long.
I don't know if you say
you're out of there.
Bunkers are meant to be safe.
I've been digging all day. Why don't you come home and have a look at me bunker?
At least Mum and Dad didn't have to worry about him going down the street in his tracksuit anymore because he didn't have time. He didn't have time to go anywhere.
Did he dig in his tracksuit? You don't want to get it dirty.
Ooh.
Kim's given us a call from Bondi Junction. Tell us, you had a blue with your parents. What happened, Kim?
Hi guys, how are you?
You're good, Kimmy.
I decided that, or me and my friends decided that we would run away from home after getting expelled from school.
Yeah, right. Okay, how did that go for you, Kim?
It went well for a couple of days. We got keys to a friend's holiday house and snuck away, ran away. The principals thought it was a great idea to just tell our parents, which obviously we didn't do. Jumped on a train the next day and legged it out of Sydney. And then, 3 days later, knock, knock, knock on the door, and in the parents came all over Red Rover.
Yeah, okay, Kim.
Kim, were these in the days of mobile phones and tracking your kids and stuff like that?
Yeah, no.
Or did they not know where you were?
Yeah, no. I'm about your age, so...
where are you? In the old days, hey,
This is
Kim.
back in 65.
Faxes weren't even around.
Don't drag me into this, Kim, please.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what I...
Sorry. No, you're much younger than me.
No, we're 78 babies, aren't we, or something like that. Look, I need to ask, though, Kim, what I'm most intrigued with is, what did you do to get expelled?
Oh, yeah.
As you do at that age, we decided to smoke some naughty stuff.
The old dragon.
On the premises?
Well, on the premises of the camp, we just, thought it was a great idea.
Kim, you know what? I think every kid has threatened their parents that they were going to run away. I remember saying, I'm out of here, and I packed a puzzle and I got some cheese from the fridge and an apple and put it...
And you went down to the holiday house over in the French Riviera just to get away from it.
That's right. I got the chauffeur to take me to the jet immediately.
Yeah.
And
You weren't off to your minor, were you?
no, we were wheels up half an hour later.
Yeah, I said, stuff this. I'm out of here. I'm going to Ibiza to live, to one of their holiday houses over there.
You're an idiot.
And I was, you're an idiot. All right, what happened? Did you have a blow up with your parents? How did you get back at them? Jessica in Preston, you had a serious spat with your oldies?
Yes, that's true.
What happened, Jess? Talk through it.
Well, they wanted me to eat coriander, and I really don't like it.
Right.
So I decided to pack my bags and walk all along a kilometre street and just wait there until a couple of hours, and I came back.
I mean, you've really dug your foot in if you've said, I tell you what, if you're going to make me eat that coriander, I'm out of here.
Do you know what, Jess? I agree with you. Coriander is horrible. It's horrible.
It needs to be in the right dish, doesn't it,
Well,
Jess?
it's in banh mi. It's big in banh mi, but I just can't have it in there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
A lot of people look at me funny.
All right.
Louise in Penrith, what went down with your parents, Louise?
Hello, Louise.
Louise.
Oh, don't tell me Louise is out of the picture. I was waiting to hear her story. Is she there,
Well,
Louise?
it's not your sister, is it, Whit?
No. She's had a couple of Barneys with my family.
Has she ever left home,
What did I tell
Louise?
you about? She had a planned 21st. She had a really big 21st. But the thing is with Louise, her birthday is on the 1st of January. Now, before the lunch that we had planned on the 1st of Jan, she went out that night on New Year's Eve, and Dad found her just rocking in the corner one day.
Was Louise the one that wanted to kiss Matt de Groot, Tom?
No,
or was
none of them wanted
was
to
that the
kiss
other
Matt
one?
de Groot.
No, that was
you
Kate.
fools.
Yeah,
that was Kate.
It wasn't
Whitfleet,
Kate.
that's right.
Kate never wanted to kiss Matt de Groot. She's with a guy that looks a bit like Matt de Groot, and they have 2 kids. But no, she would never have kissed Matt de Groot.
Damn,
she wanted to
that
kiss
would've
Tom at one stage, and I was
thank
okay
you very
with that.
much.
Hang on, we got Adam in Stanhope. Here we go. Hello,
Adsy.
Hey, how you going?
what's going on, man?
Hey, I just called because I got in trouble from my parents on the way to school. My mum was coming home from work, and she saw my friend smoking at the station.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
And I got in trouble, even though I don't catch the train to school.
Yeah. Oh, what? They blamed you for your mate having a dart at him?
Pretty much, yeah. So I got home that afternoon, and my mum was in a bad mood, of course.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what was wrong? And she was avoiding me, and then had a massive argument. She said that she accused me of smoking and doing drugs, and I was like, I wasn't even at the train station. I catch a bus to get to school, and
Fair.
our parents ran away, and we had a massive argument, and she didn't talk to me for about a week.
You're still on the gaspers now, Adam? Are you, mate?
No, never.
He's not even on them.
Yeah, well, you don't
Did you
know.
you didn't leave home or anything, Adam, or you just had a big
No, I
argument
threatened
with
to
him?
leave. I had a massive argument, and I was like, what's the point in, coming home and getting in trouble for
So true, mate.
doing nothing, and
Go out
then
and
my
have a
friends
smoke.
were the ones smoking, and I was like, I'm getting out of this place, but I didn't end up running away, obviously. But
Mate,
Great
well done.
story. It's a really good story.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.